Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your financial market wrap-up. And this is for Monday, the 27th of April, 2020, and the time getting on about 5:40 p.m. Central Time. So we've reopened the markets, and they're very stable right now. This is the week where we get the big five tech companies, the Amazons, the Apples, they're coming out, and then we get the oil companies at the end of the week. They're going to report. We'll see what that means. I still don't fully understand the fiasco going on the USO ETF that is impacting our crude prices. And the reason it is, they're a major holder of futures contracts. Their ETF uses those. They come out and they said, by the way, it's the fifth revision in 2 weeks, how they're now going to get away from the front month, but they come out and they said over the next 4 days, they're going to get out of all their June positions. Now, it's a long-only fund. So they are notifying the market that they're going to be dumping thousands of contracts. Do you honestly think people are stepping up as they come to the market with good bids? You were down, what, $4 in it today? Some of this is just beyond me, and I'm sure I need an education, and I'm willing to get it. I just don't get that. I mean, as a futures trader, you don't tell the other party what you want. You think China comes in and starts selling, hey, on Wednesday morning, I'm going to buy a million bushels or whatever, a million metric tons. Who knows? You don't do these things. All right. Let's go to the chart action, though. We're still in this corrective mode to the upside. More people keep coming out saying that they think this low is going to be hit. I don't know. The market is certainly using a lot of power on the recovery. I don't think it was unwise today to expect a stock market move that was going to go up overall. And the reason is so many states are reopening and cities are reopening. I mean, that's going to be the mode that we're in now for the next 3-4 weeks. You know that, I know that, we see it. You know, by mid-May, many places will open. I'm not convinced the super big cities are going to open, Chicago, New York, and so on. And that's because of how our transportation systems work and the like, plus the amount of cases. They're still getting 1,000 cases in New York on a regular basis. But upstate New York, that may open. So the market looks at that as a positive. It looks at Europe. It sees that, be it Italy, they're reopening. Fiat is reopening right now. Other factories are opening there. I was writing about it in my morning report. When we see where the market's at, we're fighting a battle in this 50% recovery neighborhood. And that comes from the high to the low, and these are just Fibonacci counts. 62% would carry the market right here about the 2950 area, another 100 points. What's the trend? It's up. The trend has been in a recovery mode since that March washout. We had one spike low, you've never come back. This is highly unusual. It doesn't have to be tested. This bull market that we've been in for 11 years that we just left, and now we seem to be getting back into it according to some, has been the hardest bull market to trade of a lifetime unless you just bought, closed your eyes, went away, and just kept your positions. But that's an unusual low not to be retested in some manner. Some traders still think it will be. Until you take out 27.55 and a quarter, the pattern of higher lows, higher highs is at work. The next overhead resistance in moving averages are the 200-day in gray, the 100 in the green. The support back at the 27.50 area, but to get there, you have to break this pattern of higher highs, higher lows right now. When looking at the Bollinger Band is an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. It would be useless at 100% of the time because it would always be within it and there'd be no resistance point. The resistance point is the first time you hit a Bollinger Band, be it to the top side or support point on the bottom side. That is often the support area. You'll see pros, a lot of them, the algorithms are written, the traders, they'll step back from a market there and see if the market can keep going or not. You only close out of the bands 5% of the time. It's not the best bet to be buying it, over it, or selling under it. We have 3 layers of resistance with this added together. So we can define our resistance zone. Now, right here, we cannot count tonight's action because we don't know how it's going to finish up on stochastics. We know how Monday finished. Both numbers were over 80. Both were over 80 on Friday, but not on Thursday. Therefore, we are looking to see, can the market string 3 days in a row where these numbers stay over 80? The second thing is, can the market fight the Tuesday reversal philosophy of a big gain on a Monday causes a Tuesday reversal? The last thing, we're going to start getting the earnings, and how does the market respond to those? That's where we're at on everything. In the NASDAQ, the pattern had been with this coming down to a lower low, but with today's action, you've got higher lows, higher highs, bullish. What about the slow stochastics? Again, we don't know where today, which is Tuesday, is going to end up. So let's get rid of that. Whoops, let me see if I can get, there we go, and get this back to Monday. Monday, both numbers over 80. Friday, both over 80, but not that way Thursday. Same scenario. We are very overbought, stuck our neck up, major recovery. Can it continue? You're at that inflection point now. In the Dow, just overbought, not embedding. Higher lows, higher highs, resistance, 24,871. If you take out 25,155, be careful. That could set you back to a pattern where you step out of this uptrend. And this uptrend just developed. You had been going sideways. It just kicked in with today's action. The Russell has come alive. You know, this has been the laggard, and it's overbought. I will say what I always say. The first challenge of a Bollinger Band, get it up there, and I think the pros will step out of this market quickly. That number's 1307. We'll see if they do it. That does not mean it can't go higher. But when you hit that Bollinger Band the first time, it often, on a laboring market, and that's what this has been, it's often an area where they step out. Now, a trade that I had been talking about in 2019, and it worked. It worked is not the right word. It was taken advantage of often. And it's when we had the VIX down at the 10-11 zone, 14 zone, the pros were selling, I think, puts every time it hit it, trying and assuming that they would fail and the market would go back to the 18-day average of closes. I talked about it for a full year. I don't know if 29.89 is low enough for that to work, but it's something that I want to see how the pros handle it if it gets down there. In the T-bond market, you rolled over to the bear camp today. Lower highs, lower lows. I admit the market is right now fighting the battle right at that 18-day average at 180.12, but you're under it or at it, so that gives the bears the power. Will you get back over yesterday's high, and that's going to be Friday's high, which was 182.11? That would negate this pattern. Not doing that? Don't know. Remember I told you you had gone sideways? I want you to envision a bottle left on a kitchen stove. It melts. This is the bottle. That's the neck of the bottle. Probably a good whiskey or wine bottle. That's what it is. And all the pressure of this fluid in here starts winding, and it's going to burst out one way or the other. That's where it gets dangerous in the trade because you don't get follow through a lot of the times in that neck area when it comes in. You have a similar pattern, not as well defined in the 10-year note, but it's there. Lower highs, lower lows now. Can you get to the lower part? In this type of pattern, often that'll be the first support if you can get there. You don't want to take out Friday's high. Dollar index. The dollar index stepped out of that uptrend. It just missed, and I think you'd agree with me, hitting that upper Bollinger Band, and now it's got a pattern of a higher high, lower low. It is not trending at this point. Eurocurrency, on going back right here on